Okay, welcome back, creatures of the night, as I am rejoined by my good friend Keegan Dimitrijevic as we continue this look back at the feud and rivalry that shaped 2007 for SmackDown and for this part of the Ruthless Aggression era, The Undertaker and Batista. If you remember last month, we took a look back at The Undertaker's win at the Royal Rumble, which kicked off this entire year-long feud. And right now, we continue with No Way Out 2007, where WrestleMania opponents have to tag with each other and put their differences aside to see which brand is better, Raw or SmackDown, Undertaker and Batista, or Shawn Michaels and John Cena. Can they coexist? Can they put their differences aside, or will tensions arise and force them to like stab each other in the back and say, I got one up on you? So Keegan, how are you? It's been about a month since we discussed anything Undertaker. So how have you been?
I've been doing great. Besides, as we said earlier, before we went on, being busy with university stuff, I had enough time to go on Twitter and see that the Undertaker has been inducted into the 2022 Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So I'm hoping he's the only one that goes in this year. By the way, I think that he deserves that. So yeah, other than school, I've just been grinding away with studying outside of my lectures. So school on top of school, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, and that's main reason why we've only been able to do it like once a month, because Keegan, you've got better things to do in life than show up for watch-alongs. You've got your university, you got your studies to look forward to, and when you got that break, I'm sure we'll hit these out of the park much faster. But I thank you for joining me here today as we continue this look back into Undertaker and Batista's rivalry, this next step forward before we hit WrestleMania 23.
Can't wait.
So I know you can't wait. I know I'm looking forward to this. This is the first time I'm watching No Way Out back, I think, since I first saw this on pay-per-view. So it's really not something that I've watched back a lot. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've watched it back a lot.
I haven't seen it in probably 10 years, if I'm being honest with you. Like I haven't seen it since I was a kid. It's been a long time. Like I remember everything that happened in the match, and I remember the finish, and I remember the ending sequences, but I don't remember watching it in the last decade. I remember watching it when I was like 7 years old, but I don't remember fully watching the match back again since then. So it's kind of a nice trip down nostalgia lane.
Yeah. And if you know the finish, you know why I opened up with saying stabbing each other in the back and proving which one's got an upper hand on the other. As we get through the ending, you'll realize why I said that. But that is definitely a little bit of mind games being played on The Undertaker, which he's usually one playing them, and now to be played on him, it's something that he's going to remember greatly going into our next watch along, which would be WrestleMania. So you are queued up on the WWE Network. I am queued up on Peacock at 2 hours, 5 minutes, 40 seconds. So we are just starting the promo package for this very unconventional tag team match. So are you ready to go?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So 3, 2, 1, play.
I used to love the buildup after the Rumble where they would have every champion in the ring and then they would have the Rumble winner decide. They don't do that anymore. I wish they would, because I thought it added so much intrigue, because you legitimately didn't know who he was going to choose, and it's like you thought he was going to pick John Cena and then he turned at the last second and went back to Batista, which I thought was a nice touch. But I mean, and I miss the old brand split stuff that they did where they would actually have like two of the best guys on each brand go against each other, and I thought it was cool. And especially for the lead up to WrestleMania to add some intrigue on a rather B-show style pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And if I remember, I'm sure this is the reason why everybody ordered No Way Out, was for this match.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, I think is Undertaker the first one to do this with take a look at the champions? Because I don't remember Rey Mysterio or Batista doing this. So I think he was the first one to do this.
He was, yeah. And I believe the second last to do it. because I think it happened again in 2011. But I remember when they did this lineup where they had Lashley, Batista, and Cena. I thought, man, they should keep doing this every year or two. Like make it like mean something. Rather than just having the crowd assume who the person's going to pick, actually show them who the Rumble winner is going to pick to make it. And then you could build a whole episode of either Raw or SmackDown around that. And I think it would work. So, but I mean, I wish they did tag matches like this again, though, where you, like I said before, where you have two of the best guys on each show, and you put them together on pay-per-view. I just thought it was such a unique idea. They haven't done it since, though.
I really wonder what they would have done if Undertaker wanted to face John Cena. I wonder if they would have had Cena win, like they had Cena win at WrestleMania. I wonder if they would have had Undertaker's streak broken by Cena here.
It makes me think because John was like the marquee guy at this time, but they still were bent on Undertaker not losing at Mania, and I think that's the reason why they didn't do the match in 07, because
that's probably why they had him do Batista.
Yeah, because they didn't want either to take the loss, and that's probably why they did do Batista. But I think in the end it was better that they did Batista anyway, because Batista would leave 3 years later, and you could still do Cena and Taker years after that. So I think in hindsight, doing Taker and Batista was the right call.
Yeah, and plus it keeps Undertaker on SmackDown. It keeps the SmackDown feud going for this whole year. So it doesn't force Undertaker to move to Raw.
Yeah, and I don't know how that would have worked either, because Undertaker was always a SmackDown guy. So I don't know if I could have seen Undertaker move in the Raw.
Yeah, because then they would have had to pull a Raw talent over to SmackDown.
Yeah, they probably would have sent Shawn or Triple H over to SmackDown. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah,
because you would have needed that other big veteran on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I think they would have put one of those two on the show, but I just think Undertaker, because he was there at the beginning of SmackDown, it just made sense that he stayed.
I always remember right after Undertaker won the Rumble and he was picking Batista for the champion. I remember that Michaels wanted to challenge Undertaker for a match for his Royal Rumble spot to choose the champion. And I remember Vince McMahon coming out as fast as I ever saw Vince run. It's like, oh, hell no, you're not getting this.
The crowd was going crazy too, because they really wanted another Shawn and Taker match, because Shawn and Taker hadn't wrestled since the Rumble in '98 up until that point. So it's not like Taker and Shawn have been done a million times in the last decade. So I think everybody wanted to see it again, and I mean, we did get it 2 years later at WrestleMania, and I think it'd be an understatement to say that it lived up to the hype. But I mean, Shawn and Taker in the ring, you know, together, you're always going to get something great. Always.
Yeah. I forgot that Cena and Michaels were tag team champions here.
Yeah, they kind of forgot about that too at Mania, because they were the tag champs going into their match at Mania too, and then they just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I didn't even realize this, because they don't enter with the titles at WrestleMania.
Well, I think the reason why they did that too was because the Raw roster in 07 was really thin. You know, like they had a few departures, and Triple H ended up getting injured, like I think right before the Rumble.
Yeah.
At the New Year's Revolution show. Because the original plan was that Triple H was going to wrestle Cena at WrestleMania again. And I believe Shawn was going to wrestle Booker T.
Wow.
That's what I read. So, and then they switched it to Cena and Michaels after Triple H got hurt. But I think Undertaker and Batista was always the plan, at least from what I know. Because they kept them far apart.
Booker T.
I mean, the match would have been good, but it's like, I think Michaels and Cena was a better choice for a main event. Because, like, I think Michaels and Cena would probably be the best match that they could put on the Raw brand, at least for that time. And, I mean, they got both world title matches right, though, for Mania 23, like, with Cena and Michaels and Taker and Batista, because those were the two biggest matches I think you could do. And Taker and Batista never had a match on the main roster up until Mania. They kept them far apart. On SmackDown. I think, 2 years? I think they kept them apart. And then they put them together in 07. Because Batista was feuding with Booker in 06, right?
Yeah.
And Taker was feuding with Khali and Kennedy and, Kurt at the beginning. And then in 05, Taker was with Orton, and Batista was feuding with Eddie and JBL. So they kind of kept them far apart.
we always talk about the we miss the old stages of these
I
WWE
miss them so
pay-per-views.
much.
I can't help but think that maybe all those pillars feel out of place in this entrance stage. I feel it'd been better with just a lock.
Yeah, because it makes you think of the Elimination Chamber
Yeah,
with like the pillars, and there was no chamber match on this card.
yeah, it makes you think of like there's going to be a cage match or some kind of structure. It just to me that kind of feels out of place. But nonetheless,
I probably would have done like a big chain link fence like this with a big chain with a lock in the front of it. That's probably what I would have done, like they did for 06.
yeah. But nonetheless, something I miss as I always watch these old pay-per-views back. I miss the entranceways, the attention to details they used to give.
I miss the Armageddon stage. That was one of my favorite ones.
Yes.
The Armageddon 2006 stage. I thought that was one of the coolest. I wish they would bring stuff like that back. I don't know if it's because of budget reasons that they don't. It might be because I'm sure it is expensive to put those stages together, but you would think with a high-end revenue, maybe you could. Because stages are what a lot of people remember, like especially like back then, like in 07 and 06 and 05, like every stage was different, every pay-per-view. They all had a different uniqueness to them. Like Vengeance would be like a Vegas theme, and then No Way Out would have like the big chain link, and then Armageddon would have the big like fall of the Empire stage. Like there was just so much cool visuals, that we still remember. Like I especially like the SummerSlam stage too.
Yeah.
Back in the Ruthless Aggression era. Like I thought that was a really cool stage. I wish they'd bring some of that stuff back because now it's just like a big LED screen.
Yeah.
That's what it is now.
It's too plain.
And I get it if it's for budget reasons, but still, like the fan in me wants to see the stages. Maybe it's the ADHD. I don't know. I just like to see the cool stages and stuff, especially for like Taker's entrance when you have like the fire coming up through the side of the stage. I just think it looks so cool.
And speaking of Taker's entrance, they have saved the best for last. As you have,
and they didn't burn him on this one.
You have, thank God, you have so much main event talent that the last one to enter is the Undertaker.
4 first ballot Hall of Famers, man.
4 of them. And 3 years later, as you just mentioned, Undertaker would get burned at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that would replace No Way Out. So yeah,
I'm not a fan of the gimmick pay-per-views at all. I wish, because to me it's like you overdo the match type every year when it doesn't need to be done. Like I would rather, instead of Elimination Chamber, you just have No Way Out and then you do the chamber match there maybe. But
I can't believe the gimmick pay-per-views are a decade or more so old.
Yeah, decade too long.
Yeah. First time. I'm not either. I agree. Saving those big match types for a specific pay-per-view like Survivor Series, SummerSlam, WrestleMania is a much better idea.
Save Hell in a Cell for a big 4 or something, or like save the Elimination Chamber for like a B-show pay-per-view, like that needs a big match on the card, like that's what I would do. But they used to back in the Ruthless Aggression era, and then they just started going with I think it started in like 2009 or 2010. They started doing the gimmick shows, but I don't know. Maybe they'll get back to that. I know they're bringing back Saturday night's main event from what I heard.
Oh,
that's unique. I don't know if that's going to replace a gimmick pay-per-view or not, but I mean, like I would get rid of them all. Like get rid of Extreme Rules, get rid of Elimination Chamber, get rid of TLC, get rid of Money in the Bank. Put the Money in the Bank match back at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Because nowadays too, like they try to get everybody on the card.
Yeah.
So you have you have 15 matches on one card, and it's like instead of doing 15 matches, do 10 and then have like 7, 8 guys in the Money in the Bank match, and then do a women's Money in the Bank with the women. That's what I would do for WrestleMania. But I mean, they haven't done a Money in the Bank match at Mania in ages. It's been like 11, 12 years, I think, since they've done a Money in the Bank match at Mania.
Oh, at least I would say, I think 26, I think was the last one.
Yeah, the one that Swagger won.
Yeah,
that was the last one, and then they started going to the gimmick shows. See, I wouldn't do gimmick pay-per-views because those matches belong on Mania. Like the Money in the Bank matches and stuff like that. And then like the Hell in a Cell match, you can just it wouldn't be predictable if you just threw it on any pay-per-view without like letting anybody know, rather than just promoting it. Because I used to like it, like when like Triple H and Batista would have their cell match, like they announced it for Vengeance, which you never thought it would probably take place at Vengeance.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why people bought the pay-per-view,
Yeah.
And then,
Or Brock Taker at No Mercy.
yeah, Brock Taker at No Mercy, Taker and Edge at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, just man, there's so many different ways you could use the cell match, and now the cell match is kind of diminished, but I mean, hopefully it kind of gets back some of its aura at some point. Because I just think it's been overdone too much. Like I think a lot of the gimmick matches have been overdone. It would be like doing this match like 10 times a year, doing like Batista and Taker against Cena and Michaels like 10 times in 07. Then it would have been too much. But the fact that it only happened once makes you want to rewatch it again and again.
Yeah. And yeah, Batista and Cena starting off the match. It's a different choice there to start off the match. I didn't know you thought that maybe you would have Batista, Michaels start off, Undertaker, Cena, Undertaker. Keeping Michaels and Undertaker on the outside for now. It's a
little bit separate to lead to the big
bold choice.
I think they did it to lead to a big heat spot with Shawn and Taker going in, because I think everybody wanted to see Shawn and Taker go at it again. I think that's what they were kind of making you wait for it.
Yeah, I mean the final two in the Rumble, you thought they would, mash heads right away.
Best final two ever in the Rumble history. What a clothesline. I love Shawn's chaps too. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I thought they were so cool.
It's so nostalgic for me, because that was my Ruthless Aggression era. That was what I knew Shawn Michaels from, because I didn't know him, in the Attitude Era or any time in 2000, because I just knew him like special guest referees or Commissioner Michaels. But this is the Michaels I remember, the Ruthless Aggression Michaels.
Yeah, mine too. I remember first watching Shawn in the chaps, because I was born in 01, and Shawn came back in 02 and started wearing the chaps around 05. I think he started wearing them
around 05.
So yeah, so that's how I remember Shawn. And I don't know. I like his second run much better than his first. I know a lot of people might disagree with me on that, but I love the second run with the matches with Undertaker and Kurt and Triple H. They were all great, especially the matches with Undertaker.
Well, yeah, especially since he wasn't wrestling during when I was watching. I
wasn't even born yet when in the Attitude Era.
You would even. I was born during his first run, so of course you always feel better about the things that we witnessed firsthand.
Yes, exactly. And like I was born in 01, so I was born like right at the tail end of the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started watching around 03, 04. And that's when Shawn was back in his second run. So that's how I remember Shawn. And I always remember Taker as the Deadman too.
You were exposed to wrestling very early on in life.
Very, very. Yeah, I can't even give you like a date of when I started watching or what the first match I ever watched was, because it's always been there. It's like having food when you're a kid. Like you don't remember the first time you ate food as a kid. Like you just know food for what it is. And that's like what wrestling is to me. I just don't, it's always been there, man. Ever since I can remember, like I was having figures when I was like 2 years old, 3 years old. I had figures lying around and had DVDs lying around. Like I had Attitude Era DVDs lying around and stuff. That was my WWE Network back in the day.
Yeah. I had the VHSs. I had the VHSs, so I know.
Like going to Blockbuster, buying them at Walmart.
Blockbuster.
Was my
You're unlocking the memories in my subconscious with Blockbuster.
I think the first ever DVD I saw of WWE was Backlash 2003. It had Rock and Goldberg on the front of it.
Oh yes,
that's the first ever DVD I remember seeing as a kid. I was walking down the aisle at Walmart, like down the middle aisle, and I saw that they had Rock and Goldberg on the front in the releases section.
Nice.
That's the first memory I had of like DVDs, but I don't remember the first time I watched a full match. But it was, I'm assuming probably around that time, like around early 03.
We had just brief encounter between Undertaker and Michaels before Batista come back in, and now we get Undertaker Cena.
Yeah, and Taker and Cena shockingly has not been done a lot.
Yeah, a few instances back in 2003 and 2004.
Yeah.
But after that, when they each went their separate ways, this is the first time meeting in almost 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, because they did the match at Vengeance 03, and then they had a really good one on SmackDown in July of 04.
Yeah.
They had a really good and then that was, I think, the last singles match they had until Raw in 06.
Yeah.
Where they had like a really quick main event, like not even 10 minutes, and then I think Show and Booker interfered or something like that from what I remember. It was a really quick match.
And then after this, it's basically Undertaker and Cena usually team up, usually on special Raws.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I guess like
the champions face team up.
Yeah, and then he tombstone at the end.
Yeah.
That was good. I remember watching that live when I was like 8, 9 years old. And I was happy when Taker tombstoned him at the end.
But other than team ups, I don't think they really crossed paths again until WrestleMania.
Yeah, until 34, right?
Yeah.
18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was a squash.
It was what it needed to be, I guess.
Yeah. Taker looked good though, man. I think Taker could have went a bit longer if they
He planned He planned 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
I didn't.
Now. Yeah. You get 3.
I thought they'd at least go 15 or 20. At least, but I mean, hey, at least Taker got the victory. Oh, look at this. Oh, dump Shawn right out of the
Oh yeah, perfect though.
I really think 07 may have been Taker's best year. I really do. Just like he was in great physical shape. The matches with Batista were incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It led to he had a great world title right up until he got hurt. And then the feud with Edge started. I thought it was a great year for him.
Yeah. I think if it was a full year, it probably would be his best year. Like if he wasn't.
Yeah, because he missed 4 months, right?
Yeah, he was out for a few months.
Yeah, with the shoulder injury.
Yeah, from like May until September. October?
Yeah, because he came back in Unforgiven.
Yeah.
Against Mark Henry and squashed him.
So yeah, if it was a full year, I would think that would probably be his best year.
It was a great year for him, and like him and Batista had like 5 classic matches. Like they had the Mania one, then the Backlash one, then the cage match on SmackDown, and then they had the Cyber Sunday one, and then last but not least, they had the Hell in a Cell, which we already covered.
Yes.
I think we covered the Last Man Standing one too, didn't we? I can't remember.
No.
Oh, we haven't covered that one?
No.
I couldn't remember if we did or not.
No.
I know we did Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, Survivor Series will be the only one we do not recover on our look back in here because we've already covered it. No need to do it again. So that'd be the only match we skip and look back on the feud.
So we still got to do Mania and then Backlash, right?
But we get TLC 2009 to make up for it.
Oh yeah, with Batista and Taker in the chairs match.
Mm-hmm.
Another underrated match those two had. They always had good matches. Every match they had was so good, man. Same thing with Taker and Edge. Just always had great matches. Always had great classic encounters together.
I agree.
Just like from like 05 to 08, man.
It's so hard to decide. They talk about who's going to induct the Undertaker. It's so hard. You can have virtually anybody that he's had.
Why not just have every rival come up and say something? If you're only going to have him do the show, if he's the only one getting inducted, which it looks like he's going to be, have like Shawn there, have Triple H there, have Batista, Brock, Edge, Randy Orton,
especially this new Brock who's very talkative. Have this Brock.
Yeah, I just listened to the interview he had with Pat McAfee. I couldn't believe it.
I can't believe he's so talkative. He's like, oh my God, where was this Lesnar all this time?
He said he has anxiety around people. I'm like, man, I relate to you. I just related to Brock Lesnar. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I love the matches him and Brock had too. A lot of them, except the only one I didn't really like was the WrestleMania 31. But other than that, I liked every other match they had. I liked their biker chain match at No Mercy. I like the Cell match at No Mercy 02. I like the Unforgiven match at 02. I like the SummerSlam match. I like the second Cell match. I thought all their matches were good, except for the Mania 31. Have we covered Taker and Brock? I can't remember.
No.
No. I guess that's another one we should probably dibs on too down the road. Because they had some good matches too.
Yeah, we can you can plan that out after we get through all the Batista matches.
Have you covered any SmackDown matches that Taker's done?
A few of them in 2001.
So like
title
invasion
matches with Kane and all those. Usually the tag team title matches. That's usually the ones I covered already.
Because he's had some good ones too. Like he had some good ones with Kurt Angle and had some good ones with a lot of other guys too, like Cena in 04. Maybe we could do Cena one day too. Like I mean, there's just so many.
There's so much to cover. So much.
Yeah, Randy, like Randy, him and Randy in 05 had a really good one.
Yes.
Remember? I love that match. That one's so overlooked. That's another one people don't talk about either, is the Taker and Orton match in SmackDown.
Yeah, a one that people forget in the rivalry.
It was really good too. I like the SummerSlam match too, but Mania 21 is the one everybody remembers, but they had like 3 other good matches too. They had the SummerSlam, the Cell one, SmackDown. So man, that's back when like SmackDown was a pay-per-view itself.
People forget how good this could have been a SmackDown main event that we're watching right now.
Yes, this could be a WrestleMania main event early when you think about it. Like have these guys in a 4-way.
Yeah. I always love Undertaker and I know Undertaker's not really a tag team match person that you think of, but Undertaker's so good in tag team matches.
Oh yeah, especially when it's the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah,
I love Undertaker.
You see him, even here, he's pouncing on the apron there. He wants Batista to tag him.
There it is. I've always liked Cena's leg drop from the turnbuckle. Oh, Taker broke up the count. Now he's going after Cena. You would think Taker and Cena would have been a match, like I said before, that they would have done like a million times, like Cena and Orton and stuff. But they never did it a lot.
Yeah, you would think so.
Like they just never did it that much. How many? I think Taker and Cena have only had like maybe 4 singles matches together, from what I can remember. If even.
Yeah, if even. I don't know.
But man, they always had good ones though. Every time they faced off.
You would think they would have milked that more, but that
could have been a WrestleMania main event, man.
They really believed in that brand split. They rarely crossed people over.
Yeah, the only time they ever like crossed people over was like for Taker and Shawn. Because Shawn was Raw and Taker was SmackDown, but that's like one of the very few times they ever crossed over.
Yeah.
And who else did they do? Who else did they have crossover?
And by 2000, by that time, by like 2009, they were starting to merge both of them anyway.
Yeah. So I think they just said, screw it. We're just gonna put Shawn and Taker together, and then Cena like flip-flopped too with the World and WWE titles and stuff that year.
And Cena got injured a couple times during the year, so.
Yeah, I'm surprised like back in the 2000s that they never booked Cena and Taker for a Mania main event.
Yeah,
because I think that would have drawn a huge house. Because it's back when Cena was over and extremely popular in the industry, and Taker was always at the top of his game. So it seemed like a match that you could have easily thrown together. That was like, I think the one big feud Taker never did in the Ruthless Aggression era was the Cena feud. But he pretty much feuded with everybody else except for Eddie, if you want to count him. But I mean, granted though, Taker and Eddie would have happened either way, if fate would have been different. But like we had Taker and Michaels, we had Taker and Batista, we had Taker and Edge, Taker and Orton, Taker and Brock, and they were all great. I mean, oh yeah, Taker and Heidenreich was good too, by the way. Absolutely loved it.
You're one of the few that considers Undertaker Heidenreich.
Dude, it helped me sleep. No, all due respect to Heidenreich, though. I mean, it's just Taker back in, between like 04 and 06. Besides, Randy was trying to get everybody over, and he did his best.
Yeah. That's
It's
true.
just I think he should have been feuding with like Kurt or Ray in '06 instead of Great Khali.
Oh my God, please.
All due respect, man. It's just I just wish Taker would have had a bigger feud.
Great Khali. My God. Great Khali, Mark Henry, Mr. Kennedy. I would gladly take away those three for something, three better people.
Remember the chair shot he gave Kennedy though? Survivor Series.
That's worse than anything he's ever given anybody.
That was just a CTE shot right
Oh
there.
my God. You think the Randy Orton, the Maven, or the Canyon one is bad? Take a look at Mr. Kennedy's Survivor Series. Oh, so six. Shit.
I think the Kennedy one's the worst. I think personally, but he liked Kennedy though. I mean,
yeah, I mean, if he likes you, he'll hit you even harder.
yeah, he took Kennedy and MVP under his wing at around this time. Tried to really help those two.
Bends the chair over the head. Yeah.
Yeah, just here's your luck. That was like one of the last over the head chair shots I ever did. From what I remember anyway.
Oh, I imagine around 07, everything changes.
Yeah, and then they banned it. I think they banned it like in 07. And then I think there was only one time after 07 I saw an over the head chair shot, and that was with Taker and Triple H at 27.
Yeah. And then I think they both get fined.
Yeah, they got fined for that. I don't know if they really did or not, but they announced that they did.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was a protected chair shot though. Taker got his hand up, so. Cena again.
Sometimes it's so weird to see crowds like 15 years ago, no phones or anything, just like standing
camcorders
in the match.
Yeah, and camcorders, no LED logos on top of the arena.
Camcorders, Kodak cameras.
Yeah, brings it back.
Yeah.
I remember this time I had a PlayStation Portable. That's probably what I would have brought to the show.
Oh man.
I would have tried to take pictures of that thing probably. I don't know if you could or not, but probably would have tried. 07 was like close to being one of my favorite years in WWE too.
Yeah.
Like the first half of it was awesome. Like Mania 23 was great. The Rumble was great. You had this. You had Cena and Shawn feuding, Batista and Taker, Edge and Orton. There was just so much going on. Yeah, Batista's got a cut on his nose. Can't tell if it's pain or actual blood, but Cena and Batista is another match they waited a long time to do too. They didn't do that till SummerSlam 08. They milked it for like 3 years.
You would think they would do it more after that Rumble debacle.
Yeah, after 05 and they 06, 07, up until halfway point of 08, they didn't do anything except for this tag match. Because this is back like when Cena and Batista were being pushed as the two top guys for each show.
Surprised. I was going to say, it's taken Undertaker a long time to break up that submission.
Taker's the most methodical performer I've ever seen. Just takes his time, man, with everything he does. Shawn elbow drop. There it is, Shawn taunting Taker. Tune it up. No, duck. Following. No, that wasn't a follow. It was close though. It was like a side Uranagi from Batista, and now the hot tag's coming for Taker. Boom.
Oh,
there
time.
we go.
We need that hot tag to Taker.
Taker and Cena. Here we go. Now hit Shawn. Hit Cena. Shawn again. Playing back and forth pinball with Cena and Shawn. Here we go. There goes Shawn in the turnbuckle. Snake Eyes time. Boom.
Oh, every guy's such in the element, so on top of it in this match.
Shawn sold that Snake Eyes too. There's the flying tackle. tackled the John Cena.
I love that sequence from Undertaker. That's one of the best sequences.
Oh, yeah.
The Snake Eyes, the boot, and only if you would have hit the leg drop, that's the best sequence from it.
He did that with Triple H at 28. He did the leg drop right after.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great addition.
Pillar
Double
to
choke
post.
slam.
Pillar to post. Classic Undertaker move.
Oh yeah. Spine buster from Batista. Now choke slam the Cena. Boom.
It's just so like you really thought they were gonna pull off here. You really thought that the guy at SmackDown was gonna win it.
No, Batista. What are you doing? Yeah, you'll pay for that at Mania.
Oh,
Why? Even though Batista's a babyface here.
well, he just became the heel.
Crowd designated heel when you're against Taker.
Yeah, crowd designated heel. You knew it was coming. You would think that you would thought the Raw guys would turn.
Well, because Taker laid out Batista with a choke slam on when he chose for the world title. That's probably why kayfabe wise he did it.
And very shocking that Undertaker is the one to take the pin.
Yeah, because Taker never takes pins.
You would think Batista would have taken the pin.
Boo.
Sweet chin music. The FU.
And that's all they wrote. It's done. Damn you, Batista.
Oh, man.
You can go to hell.
But like I said in the beginning to start this all off, shenanigans abound.
I said to myself I wasn't gonna get mad over finishes in wrestling anymore, and I still do.
Oh yeah, you still get mad after you say things.
I try to not be a mark, but then I still get mad at finishes, especially nowadays today. A lot of them I get mad at, but I mean, it makes me so mad sometimes when you ruin a great match with a horrible finish. Even though this finish wasn't horrible, but I wish it would have not been Batista turning. But fun match though, nonetheless.
Yeah, fun match. It's better than I remembered it actually. Watching it back in 07.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was like great or just good, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was like in the middle of good and great. I really it's not like, to me, it's not like a match of the year contender, but it was just really freaking fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Selfishly, you wish the Raw team would have disintegrated first before the SmackDown, but
because they constantly teased it that Shawn was gonna switch in music Cena on like the shows prior to this.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, this should have been, Taker and Batista should have been the main event of that Mania too. At 23, that's the match I would have had on the main event. But hey, it was still a heck of a WrestleMania. Right across the border from me, man, I can see the arena from the main street in my city, Ford Field.
Do you regret not going?
I was 6. I mean, but like in hindsight, yes, I wish I could have went. Like, I mean, I was 6 and I was still a fan, so I probably would have loved it anyway. But I wish I would have been like my age now and went. But yeah. I do wish I could have gone. But I mean, Mania 40 might be here in Toronto, so I might go if it is going to be here. Because I heard Mania 39 was supposed to be in Toronto, and up until they had to switch it because of COVID, they were going to have Mania 39 come to Toronto. But I mean, we'll see what happens, because now Mania 39's in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Next year. So,
but
I'm praying Taker makes an appearance at Mania this year.
I hope so. I mean,
like, even if it's not for
candy that. I mean, maybe we'll get a quick match, but you never know.
I don't even care if it's a segment. Just come out. I don't care. Stand there and do nothing. It'll be better than 90% of the show.
But as you said, that's all she wrote. That closes the book on No Way Out 2007. And our next stop in the journey through the Undertaker and Batista rivalry is, of course, the biggest one, WrestleMania 23, where the World Heavyweight Championship is on the line, where Undertaker goes 15-0 at WrestleMania. And I cannot wait.
Undertaker had a streak.
Yeah, well, if you don't know by now that Undertaker defeated Batista at WrestleMania, I'm sorry, what can I tell you?
You don't want me to turn heel on your show.
That's right. And I can't wait for it. I love the Undertaker Batista match at WrestleMania. It's the best match of the night. Stole the show. And I just can't wait to recall it, rewatch it with you, especially see your information, insights into that match. And
Teddy Long introduces Undertaker at the beginning. That's what I love.
That's right, Teddy Long. That Batista gets to go one-on-one with the Undertaker at WrestleMania. So no better person to introduce him than Teddy Long.
Memories.
Right, and then the match right after that, another one, Backlash, Last Man Standing. Looking forward to that one right afterwards.
That was my second favorite one.
Yeah.
5. So.
Yeah, and
I can't wait for the next two.
Yeah, and then the third one, the steel cage match.
I'll be on my game, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got the next 3 matches is amazing matches, and then you got the tail end of 07, and then No Way Out, the Elimination Chamber. A year from this, they meet in the Elimination Chamber for a chance at WrestleMania Championship match.
And Karma comes back on Batista, for those who don't.
Yes, but and then of course the final one we should get to would be TLC 09. So plenty of banger matches to get through with the Undertaker and Batista. As I said, the only one we won't go back with is Survivor Series 07, since we already touched on that. But I am looking forward to the rest of this series that we have going on here. I can't wait.
So am I. Can't wait either.
Yes. So anything you would like to plug before we sign off?
Yeah. Get the Ultimate Edition while you can.
Yes, definitely.
You're not gonna find it for much longer.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a fan of the Brothers of Destruction and WrestleMania 14, get it while you can.
Yeah.
And that's not me throwing a sales pitch. It's just me being an honest fan.
Yeah, you can get it on Ringside, you can get it on Wrestling Collector Shop, you can get it at Target in store or on Target's website. It is available in plenty of different places to grab it. So if you miss out before they're all gone, don't say we didn't tell you, because now is your chance to grab it at almost 4 different spots. So there's nothing, you got to get it when it's hot.
Your chance is going to rest in peace if you don't.
That's right. And as we've seen with plenty of Undertaker figures, once it rests in peace, it doesn't usually rise again. So, and of course, they can follow you on Twitter at Keegan RW. So make sure to follow him. What's your follower count right now? What are you trying to get to?
I'm at 10.2K right now. I'm gonna try and hit 11 by maybe July, August.
Try and get Keegan to 11,000 followers, Creatures of the Night. Come on, you got to give him a follow. See what he tweets about WWE, AEW, all different types of wrestling nonsense and
opinions that don't matter.
And make sure to follow us on this journey through the Undertaker and Batista's rivalry. Until next time, Creatures of the Night, same Taker time, same Taker channel. And be sure to keep on rolling, baby. Until next time.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time. Thank you again, Keegan, for joining me. It's always a pleasure.
No problem.